My friends, how are you? It is fantastic to see you for yet another video, but unfortunately, America continues to spiral out of control, all at the hands of Donald Trump and his loyal followers that do whatever he says. The temperature is continuing to rise in this country, and I'll be honest with you, I don't know how this is all going to turn out. So we know that Donald Trump is basically declaring war against the American people, and that is a shocking thing to say, my friends. As an American, I never thought I would stand in front of a camera and talk about the President of the United States declaring war against American citizens. And he continues to ramp this up, continues to escalate everything that he's doing against the American people. And it's getting to the point where it is outright frightening, but there are some silver linings we need to look out for. So as we know, Donald Trump, basically this presidency is a revenge tour, because Donald Trump is such a narcissistic prick that he cannot believe that he lost an election, and there's people in America that don't like him. So he wanted to get into office for a few reasons: to avoid prison time yet again, but also to take revenge on the American people that do not fall in line with him. These are dark fucking times, my friends. And I do want to clear up a little bit of something, because apparently I misled some people in a recent video, because Donald Trump has been calling American people the enemy from within. Yeah, once again, think about that for just a minute. Think about the President of the United States calling Americans the enemy. But it's the left that needs to tone down their rhetoric, right? While Donald Trump threatens military action against United States citizens. And Donald Trump has been on this little media tour referring to the enemy from within over and over. And I was joking about it a couple videos back about how Donald Trump was calling out my name specifically, and I didn't really appreciate it. I must not have delivered that line correctly, because there were people that I thought Donald Trump was actually talking about me. I didn't believe that, but apparently I fucked up my messaging. I know I've been locked in this truck for a lot of years, and that will do a number on a guy fucking mentally, but I haven't lost my mind that fucking much that I believe the president is actually talking about me. But the enemy from within is what Donald Trump refers to the American people as, my friends. Donald Trump has deployed the National Guard in LA. He's deployed the National Guard in Washington, D.C. I believe that, I don't know if he actually deployed them in Chicago or backed off of that plan. The reason I get confused is because it changes all the fucking time. But Donald Trump is lying about this entire thing. And that's the really frustrating part about it. He's talking about how crime is running rampant. He called Portland, my friends, Portland, Oregon, a war zone. And it's not even possible to get it confused with something else and think that he meant like Portland, Maine or some shit like that. Portland's in general are not war zones. Portlands seem to have a reputation of being very nice cities that are pretty calm. I've never been in a Portland and been scared for my fucking life. But Donald Trump has called Portland a war zone, and he has to deploy the National Guard to go in there and just straighten the people out, the enemy from within, my friends. And he's not making a whole lot of progress with that one in particular. A federal judge shot that down. I know some people are going to call out in the comments the house that burned down from a federal judge. I don't know if it was the same one. I have not got to dive into that story yet. So before I speak on that house burning down, I want to at least research the topic a little bit so I don't end up sounding like a lunatic conspiracy theorist. However, it seems a little bit odd. I believe that was the same judge that Stephen Miller called out yesterday, and now their house is on fire, or their house is burned down. I just don't know. I can't put two and two together, my friends. I'm not really fucking sure. But anyways, Donald Trump, back to his war against the American people, my friends. He is not doing too well in Portland. He tried to also activate California's National Guard, I guess, to send up to Portland. And Gavin Newsom is sick of his shit. Gavin Newsom has had his fucking fill of Donald Trump. And that is a very good thing. I know that there are a lot of people that don't like certain policies from Gavin Newsom, don't like certain traits of Gavin Newsom. But for this very, very instance, when it comes to his fight for redistricting or gerrymandering California to stand up to the Republicans, and anytime he's standing up against Donald Trump right now, he's 100% got my support. As a matter of fact, I had so many videos that I could have covered today, and I settled on this one because both Gavin Newsom and JB Pritzker are saying it's time for Americans to speak up. Well, here I am, baby. I'm speaking the fuck up against this fascist asshole in Washington, D.C. that is trying to kill American people, referring to American people as the enemy from within. God damn it. This is really frustrating times. But what we're seeing as he is losing that battle with Portland, one more thing on Portland. Apparently, Fox News controls the president of the United States, because where Donald Trump got the idea that Portland is a war zone is Fox News allegedly, I don't watch a lot of Fox News, this is just some reporting that I've heard, apparently is replaying some protests from 2020 that apparently got out of hand. I don't know much about those protests, but they keep playing them over and over, and that is what's convincing Donald Trump that Portland is a war zone. Can you believe this? The president of the United States that has access to all the intel he could imagine, could find out any information he wants, sits there and he watches the fucking TV and comes up with these ideas, which makes him no more informed than your average fucking slack-jawed fucking American citizen sitting there watching Fox News and going, yep, this must be fucking true. The president of the United States is basing his what word am I looking for? His opinion that Portland is a war zone off of Fox News reporting. We're fucked, my friends. We are absolutely screwed. But I want to talk a little bit about what's going on in Chicago also. Donald Trump is 100% trying to start a civil war in America, and we cannot kid ourselves about that. We cannot bullshit ourselves about that. And ground zero for that, where apparently Donald Trump wants that to happen, where he wants it all to break out, is Chicago. That's where he wants this to start. Donald Trump has been ramping up his attacks on Chicago ever since he came into office, but it is getting to a fucking boiling point right now, where something is bound to happen at this point. Now, I want to be clear. I'm not on YouTube suggesting that something is happening, but the president of the United States is abusing his power to go after an American city, to detain and arrest and assault and shoot American citizens. One got shot yesterday. I have not followed up on that much, but a woman got shot in Chicago, I believe by ICE, but I don't want to necessarily make that accusation. But Donald Trump continues to escalate this in Chicago for some reason or another. And the people of Chicago, the leadership, and also the citizens are standing up to Donald Trump because that is the right thing to do, my friends. We have heard this shit for years about we are right to bear arms because if a tyrannical government rises to power in America, that's why we should have our weapons, right? And those very same people are the same people that are cheering for the fascist in the White House right now and saying that he's doing the right thing. It's fucking baffling to me, my friends. But I lost my train of thought. Anyways, the mayor of Chicago, I unfortunately don't remember his name, has signed an executive order that there's ice-free zones. Like, they can't be hanging out in the public streets and parking lots. They can't be hanging out on private property if the business owner doesn't want them there. Chicago is saying we will not participate in the Gestapo police running through the streets of Chicago. And of course, you've got JB Pritzker, which is another very impressive governor right now, that is standing up to Donald Trump and trying to put a stop to his madness and saying we will not bow down to you. There was some pushback from the National Guard there in Illinois, where Donald Trump wanted them activated, and they were like, well, no, we're not really going to do that. But once again, I haven't got to dive too far into that story, but it is good if that is true. If that is true, that the National Guard is like, we're not following that order, that is pushback that we need from military. I understand National Guard is a little bit different. It's like the state's military. I'm not entirely versed on all of that, but that's my understanding of it. Anyways, what we're seeing, my friends, is a lot of people out there that are standing up. And I did want to do a little side note. I just remembered, what the fuck is going on with Hot Wheels down there? Fucking Greg Abbott, who was all gung-ho about assisting Donald Trump in starting a civil war, that's saying, I'm going to activate the Texas National Guard to go into Oregon. I'm going to activate the Texas National Guard to go into Illinois. What the fuck is going on with these people? I am so beyond pissed off, my friends. You can't imagine the restraint it takes to make these fucking videos, because I was born in a country where I was told that I had freedom and that I could do whatever I wanted to do, obviously within the laws, and the laws pretty well make sense. Don't fucking, physically harm people, don't kill people, don't, vandalize property, don't steal from people, shit like that. They're pretty decent-ish laws. There's not a huge problem with it. Some of the laws are a little bit crazy, but you get the fucking point, right? I was raised in a country, though, where was told that freedom fucking exists. And I would just ask you, do you know what it's like to get to be in your 40s and watch all those freedoms just get ripped away from you by one fucking lunatic fascist president? And the answer is yes. You all know that because you're all stuck in the same country that I am. Not all of you. There's a lot of people overseas in different countries that watch me, that are watching America just fall apart. That's what they're watching happen from all over the world. It's fucking crazy, isn't it? And you know what? It was nice because we all kind of did our thing. Sure, we weren't making enough money. It was hard to pay our bills, but we woke up every day and we had freedom. We had decisions we could make for ourselves. And now it's getting to the point where you're not fucking allowed to do that anymore. You're only allowed to agree with Donald Trump. That's what you're allowed to do in America now. How about that? Isn't that something? And Greg Abbott can go fuck himself. I am sick of that motherfucker. Anyways, the point is, the courts are standing up. Some of them. There are governors that are standing up. And where it's getting kind of scary, but is unfortunately going to be inevitable, is there are people taking to the streets that are also standing up when ICE is trying to throw a random person on the ground with no due process, no identification, no trying to even figure out who the person is that they are assaulting at the time. They're just like, hey, they're brown, get them. There are people in Chicago that are breaking that up, getting people away from ICE, and it is going to reach a boiling point where a lot of bad things are going to happen, my friends. But a lot of bad things are going to happen. I unfortunately have to predict that this is going to continue to escalate on both sides, but we have to understand that Donald Trump is the aggressor. So to be clear, I wasn't both sidesing that issue. Donald Trump is clearly the aggressor in this situation against the American people, and American people are standing up more and more every day and letting him know we are not going to have this shit. It's wildly unpopular in the polls what he's doing with ICE and what he's doing with trying to activate the National Guard and shit like that. Just not a very popular thing at all. And the thing is, Donald Trump is going to get away with this. And I don't mean that he's necessarily going to be able to escalate it more, but I anticipate that he will. What I mean is Donald Trump is committing crimes against America right now. You are not allowed to use the military against civilians in America. And that is 100% what Donald Trump wants to do, okay? And Donald Trump, he's old. For some reason, he's immune to any kind of prosecution. I don't know. We live in two different Americas. And Donald Trump is going to continue to get away with this. What I don't understand, my friends, one of the most shocking things is the young people that are loyal to Donald Trump that are doing his bidding right now. Caroline Leavitt, Kristi Noem, Stephen Miller, that fucking ghoul, Kash Patel, fucking, who am I missing here? Pete Hegseth. How could I forget him, right? How could I forget him? I am telling you right now, my friends, this whole situation is going to get very, very fucking ugly. And it's going to get ugly pretty goddamn quick unless we can get Donald Trump to chill out, which is not very fucking likely. But all of those people that I just listed, I have 100% faith, my friends. And maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm being too optimistic, but I have 100% faith that one day every one of those people will face their day in court court for the crimes they have committed against the American people, and they will be charged for those crimes. I 100% believe that. The pendulum, I don't know why I'm stuttering, because I didn't know if it was pronounced pendulum or pendulum. That's why I was like, fuck, how am I going to say this word? Anyways, once that fucking thing swings back the other way and some sanity returns to this country, every one of those people are going to be held accountable for the crimes they are committing currently against the American people. And that also includes J.D. Vance and Mike Johnson that are allowing these things to happen. What is happening in America is not normal. And I want to say to the Americans out there that are cheering for this, fucking shame on you. Shame on you for anyone out there that thinks it's okay to march the military through the cities because you live out in the country and you listened to all the Fox News talking points. You bought up all the bullshit and you think that this is completely acceptable to do to the American people. Shame on you for thinking that that is okay. And that's not nearly strong enough. Like, shame, who gives a fuck at this point in this fucking country? Who gives a fuck if someone's shamed a little bit? But it makes me sad, my friends, because like I talked about earlier in the video, there was a time where America, with all its flaws and everything, was still relatively a free country. That time ended roughly 8-9 months ago whenever Donald Trump took office and immediately on day one signed some absolutely heinous fucking executive orders. The days of freedom in America ended that fucking day. Now, are we going to get that back? I believe that eventually we will. I think that a lot of us are going to get killed in the process because Donald Trump loves killing Americans and he justifies it. And to the people out there, the blue collar, working class, rural Americans out there, if you're going along with this shit, you are really fucking up. I have watched so many truck drivers here on YouTube that are celebrating this. And to my trucker brothers out there that are celebrating the military used against the American people, where the fuck have you been? Talk about a missed opportunity. You had this golden opportunity, this job where you travel around the country. You could have mingled with the locals. You could have learned about local culture. You could have made new friends all over the goddamn country, cities out in the country, wherever you wanted to do. But yet you chose to sit inside your truck and listen to Fox News fucking talking points and be terrified of the goddamn world. And now you support this military action by Donald Trump against the American people. What a missed fucking opportunity to really learn about the world around you, and you fucked it up. The people out there cheering for this, this is despicable. You are anti-American, you are anti-democracy, and you are quite a fucking problem right now if you are standing by and cheering for this to happen on American soil, the United States president using military force against United States citizens. That's not how any of this was ever supposed to go. Anyways, I lost track of what I was saying, and I do have to get back to work. So I'm going to get out of here. Love you guys. Bye now.